Fam, what's good? What's going on? It's Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. How you doing? You having a good summer? I am so excited that we finally have some football to talk about. SEC Media Days is just around the corner. Next week in Nashville. I'll be up there coming to you from Nashville, one of my favorite cities. Let me know where you're watching from inside the comment box. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Man, it feels good. I'm so excited just to be talking Alabama football, and I'm really grateful for your support. So hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. We appreciate you guys more than you know. Hey, this is your show. How this is going to work, you call into the show. 205-850-1994 if you want to talk Alabama football with me. I appreciate you guys. We already got Thomas checking in from Wisconsin, all the way up in the Midwest. We got people from Birmingham coming in. I see you, Ryan. And we got we got Hustle coming in from Gadsden, Alabama. I appreciate you guys wherever you guys are coming from. I want to know, okay, we're going to do a couple things on the show, okay? We are going to talk about SEC Media Days, the biggest kind of storylines going into the season. We're going to talk about who you think is going to be the quarterback. Yes, once again, it's that time. It's already July 10th. We can start talking more about Alabama football in terms of the quarterback situation. I want to hear your take on this defense and the fact that Alabama is bringing Kool-Aid and also Dallas Turner to SEC Media Days, I think sends a message, a kind of a silent message, if you will, right? Like the defense is coming. You got Dallas Turner, you got Kool-Aid. It's amazing to think that those guys are already kind of like the vets of this defense, because I still look at them as kind of being like young guns, but they are very established. They are very they're going to both play such an integral role of this defense, right? In the secondary and, of course, the outside linebacker position. Anytime you have to replace a player like William Anderson, you need to continue to reload, and that's what we're seeing from Dallas Turner. And I think Dallas Turner is going to be a lot better than people think. I know you guys know from Alabama, but, from what I gathered, Dallas Turner isn't going to be too far behind. Who's going to be opposite side? That's kind of what I'm curious about. You also have J.C. Latham coming from the offensive line to represent the offense. And, of course, Alabama wasn't going to dare bring one of the quarterbacks, right? Because I think they still need to figure out who the quarterback is going to be going into the 2023 season. What's up, fam? I appreciate you guys once again joining. If you guys could slide me a super chat, I appreciate it. Or you can become a member of this YouTube channel by just hitting the join button at the bottom of this video. Call-in line is open. It's at the bottom of the screen. 205-850-1994 is the call-in line. I'm happy to take your calls to talk Alabama Crimson Tide football. I think going into the season, a couple storylines for me is how is Alabama's offense going to continue to evolve, right? We've continued to see this rotating carousel, if you will, at the offensive coordinator position ever since Brian DeBall got here. Now you have a young gun in Tommy Rees who's taken over the offense. And I think, replacing the quarterback is on everybody's mind, and rightfully so. Anytime you replace the number one pick in the NFL draft and Bryce Young, who is the quarterback going to be simply? And I think a lot of people pulling for Jalen Milroe, a lot of people pulling for Ty Simpson, and rightfully so. Those are the guys that were on the roster before Tyler Buckner hit the transfer portal and is headed to Alabama. So clearly, anytime you have a quarterback battle, that's what people want to talk about going into this season. But I think this team has a lot more depth, if you will, besides just the quarterback factor. I think a lot of it is when I looked at the season is Alabama going to somehow, and along with Tommy Rees leading the way at the offensive line, the offensive coordinator position, is he going to somehow figure out a way to keep all these running backs fed? And one of the biggest things for me during the springtime was just the play of the freshman Justice Haynes, right? I mean, it was really mind-blowing to see him on the offensive side and on the defensive side, see Caleb Downs, just how physical and how impactful those two were just from the freshman side of things. Like it's so unbelievable that these guys should still be in high school during that time and are contributing for the Alabama Crimson Tide during the springtime. So how are you going to keep those running backs fed? And I think I don't want anybody to forget about Jace McClellan, right? It's like Jace is a very established running back, but I think with the fact that he got hurt, I think that, kind of put it off a little bit for him. Roydell Williams is a guy we can't forget about either. And then we've talked about Jam Miller. I mean, last time I had Sean from Huntsville call in, we talked about the running back and kind of the depth that they have back there. And we can't forget about Richard Young, right? It's like the running back situation is not a problem. But how is Tommy Rees going to be able to dictate that running game? And is Alabama going to have an offense that can somewhat control the tempo of the game? right? Are they going to be able to keep the defense off the field? So going into this coming season, I want to see a lot of those running backs, into the field. I don't know if Alabama's going to have necessarily a featured back. Maybe I can get your take on that. Again, the call-in line is at the bottom of your screen. It is 205. I'll put it up a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. 205-850-1994. My name is Kyle Henderson, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Can you feel my energy? I feel pumped up, and I'm so grateful for just you guys' support. And also, I just feel so healthy, right? Like sometimes like the gratitude of just like being impactful, loving what you do. Like that's why I'm so excited about finally having some real college football to talk about with SEC Media Days. SEC Media Days next week will take place, and let me run down the schedule real quick for you guys so we can kind of give you an update of what to expect this next week. I just got the final update. Let me see. It's at the bottom. So I think Alabama is going to get there on Wednesday, and that's when you're going to have Nick Saban. And of course, as I mentioned, you're going to have Kool-Aid, Dallas Turner, and JC Latham. Those are going to be the guys headlining for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And then I think earlier in the week, here's a schedule right here. So it kind of kicks off on Monday, and you're going to hear from Greg Sankey on Monday, and then you're going to hear from Brian Kelly. And I think that Alabama is going to have some questions for LSU, right? Considering this, that's a redemption game. Jaden Daniels going for LSU along with Josh Williams. And then following LSU, you have Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher, and then you have Missouri on Monday to lead things off. Now on Tuesday, you have Vanderbilt, Georgia, Kirby Smart, the two-time defending national champ, coming to Nashville, and then you're gonna have a break, and then you're gonna get Auburn and Mississippi State, and then on Wednesday you have the Alabama Crimson Tide along with Florida, Kentucky, and that'll be Wednesday, and then on Thursday things will wrap up with Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, and you have that's an interesting storyline because you have Pete Golding, right, in the DC, and South Carolina and Tennessee, and that will conclude SEC Media Days. But I'll be there in its entirety. I can't wait. I'm actually going to sneak in a golf tournament on Sunday. Yes, if you guys have been following me, I love golf. I've been playing competitive golf this summer in Alabama. So I recently just went up to Muscle Shoals in Florence. I need to connect with you guys when I go up to these random spots in Alabama, because I went to Lake Gunnersville and I played Goose Pond, which is a beautiful course. And then we got our first caller. We'll take it in just a second. Call in line at the bottom of your screen, 205-850-1994. And then I went up to Muscle Shoals and in Florence area, and I played those RTJ courses. There was bunkers on bunkers. Man, there was some hard golf. But beautiful courses across the state of Alabama. Following SEC Media Days, I'm going to head down to Mobile, Alabama, and I'm going to play Magnolia Grove. I don't know if you guys know where that's at, but down in Mobile, Alabama. So I'm excited about that. We're going to take our first caller. What I need from you guys is this. Listen up very carefully. I need you guys to tell me if you can hear the audio, if it's coming in clean. We got like mixers and all sorts of stuff when we do these call-in shows. So we need to make sure that everything is clean coming in. We'll take our first call right now on Alabama football with Kyle Henderson. It's a 256. We'll start right now. How you doing? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with and where you calling in from?
Oh, what's up, brother? This is Sean from Huntsville.
Sean, what's up, man? Hey, can you guys hear Sean? Sean, chime in, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Like the leadoff caller is Sean from Huntsville. Can you guys hear Sean? Yes or no? Sean, give me a mic check.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It seems like I can hear it on my other phone, my other line. Seems like it's pretty good audio.
All right,
let's hear it on my end.
Let's go, man. So we're going into this the SEC Media Days, right? Saying it's a little bit low, Sean, for at least Sarah. When Alabama hits the podium on Wednesday, what are you looking forward to in terms of this team from the mentality standpoint? We've talked about the running backs. We know what's coming back on defense. Like what overall what's your take going into this early kickoff for SEC Media Days when we gear towards Alabama football just entering the SEC Media Days, Sean?
So for me, I'm interested in seeing these guys' body language. I'm very, very interested in seeing their body language. I want to see it. I want to hear the hunger in their voice or lack thereof. Mm-hmm. I want to know their mindset. I want to know, do these guys hear all the media? I've never seen media as down on Bama as I've heard these last year or so. So I want to see these guys' mindset. I read a quote where other players are saying other schools are teaching better than Alabama, and that's why they transferred. And so I want to see these guys' mindset. I want to see Kool-Aid. I want to see JC. I want to see these guys, and I want to know their mindset. I want to see, do they come in jokey, or do they come in and lay the gauntlet down like, listen, we on business. We on business right now. We hear everybody. We understand the love is not with Alabama no more, and that's great. I want to know these guys' mindset. So I want to hear what these guys got to say about the practices that are coming up. I want to hear what these guys say about the season that's coming up. And for me, that's number one. That's number one. Because right now we have so many questions. Everybody's got questions on the offensive side, on the defensive side, on the coach's side. So many questions, right? Let's start first. I want to know their mindset. Where is the team's mind right now? For me, that's what I want to see first.
Sean, I just want to ask you straight up, and this is for everybody else inside the comment box too. And I don't care if this pisses you guys off, if you guys are soft and you guys, I mean, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows, because I'm telling you what, if it was sunshine and rainbows, Alabama would have won the last 2 national championships, and they haven't. And Coach Saban has said that somebody else has taken Alabama's spot. And so my question is, has Georgia overtaken Alabama at the top of the college football mountain? And what can Alabama do to get back on top?
Man, let me just be real with it, man. When I read that article, let's just put it out there. It's an article. Everybody already read it. When I read that article from Demoy Kennedy saying about how the coaches at Bama has, don't really teach techniques for real. They just kind of put you out there. I was shocked by that, man. I was appalled. I was shocked. These kids, these kids will give it to you as rough and as draw and as cut and as raw as you want it. So I was shocked by that, man. So for that reason, I want to know. I mean, I'm not even going to put it all on the players. From the coaches down, from Nick Saban on down, I want to know. So, yeah, I want to see, man, because right now, as of today, Georgia is the number 1 program in the country. You can't take that from those guys, man. So that's why I want to see what's going on. Let's see, because this year's going to tell a lot, man. This year will tell a lot about the future of the program, what we're going to do from this year to the next, These are important days, man. I hope Nick Saban comes out and has his most physical camp of late. I mean, these guys need to go in. I don't care about getting people hurt. I'm to the point where put it out there. We got to get back to the old school Bama, man. Damn the finesse, if I can say one cuss word. Forget it. Let's get back to being Bama. I hope he comes out and have his most physical camp that he's had in years. Bring some of the older players back. Nothing is given. Everybody's hound the hog with Georgia, and they deserve it. So my mindset is I want to see their mindset. Let's go. That's what I want to see first and foremost, and for me, it's cut and dry. That's what it is.
On the line with Sean from Huntsville. I appreciate you guys watching. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys' support, and for you guys tuning in, definitely hit the thumbs up, like and subscribe. Super chat certainly welcomed. I'll be up in Nashville next week, checking out all the coaches that are rotating in. A lot of storylines clearly going in online with Sean from Huntsville right now as we talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide. We'll get to our next caller in just a second. We got a 205. Actually, it's a 608, so just hang tight. I'll get to you in just a second. Call-in line is 205-850-1994. What do you want to see from this offensive line, Sean? I mean, it's clearly going to be anchored by J.C. Latham, but there was a couple spots that Alabama certainly needed to work on, and people were kind of pointing out some things maybe with Pritchett during the offensive line during the springtime. But, are we potentially going to see a freshman by the name of Caden Proctor, get on the field, in your opinion?
For me, I want to get back to see these guys. I want to get back to the isolation, the man-on-man. The zone blocking is cool. Okay, great. Stretch plays, great. I want to see the hunger, man. I want to get back to the isolation, mano, downhill running game. RPOs are great, and I know they're not going to go anywhere, but I want to get back to our offensive line absolutely dominating. Those were the years when Alabama was physical. Those were the years we had our best offenses, when we were balanced. I want to see our offensive line get back to that, because I was thoroughly disgusted last year when we couldn't even run the ball, 3rd and short, and we couldn't run the ball. We could not run the ball. I want to get the running backs in there. We've talked about that. I want to get back to giving these guys 17, 18, 19, 20-plus carries a game. I want our offensive line to absolutely establish itself from game one.
Forget all the 30 passes a game. Let's line up. Let's ground and pound. Let's set that tone from the beginning. Get back to being physical. Those were our best years. That's what I want to see. And it starts with the veterans. It starts with the veterans, the leadership council. The guys on the offensive line need to set the tone for the entire team, especially with our quarterback situation being the way it is. That's what I want to see from our offensive line. Straight aggression from the first game on. But the offensive coach has to give us an opportunity to do that. RPOs are great, but let's get back to running that thing 20, 25 times a game.
Travis in the comment box says, someone called Landon Dickerson, let's get him back. And you know what? I love this comment because Landon Dickerson was pissed off. He played pissed off, and his one objective was to obviously protect the quarterback, but number two was to put any sort of defense in. I think you're cutting out just a little bit, Sean, so I think I'm just going to mute it on that side. But his main objective was not only to protect the quarterback, but to go after the defense. Like, the dude was so nasty in the way that he participated on the offensive line. It was really something to watch. So I love that, Travis. And I think that you're spot on. Now, I do like Seth McLaughlin coming back. He wears the hat that says run the damn ball. And that's kind of alluding to Sean's point right there. Like, you want to get these running backs fed. You want to get the quarterbacks their reps with it. But I think, we can't lose sight of this running back room and all this talent that is back there. I'm curious to see how Tommy Reese in his first year does a great job or can at least balance somehow this offensive attack. Sean, give me one more before we move on to our next caller, man. What do you think about Kool-Aid? Because, Kool-Aid, I think when you look to the future NFL draft in 2024, Kool-Aid certainly, in my opinion, one of the best cover corners in all of college football.
I think Kool-Aid will have an absolute big year, but here's the most important thing because of that. A lot of teams are going to stay away from Kool-Aid. So whoever the corner is on the other side, whether it's Terrion, whether it's the young man who transferred in, they better be ready. A lot of teams will stay away from Kool-Aid this year. Kool-Aid is going to have an outstanding year, but we need the other corner on the other side to step up because he is going to get a lot of work. I know you got other callers. I'm going to let you go, but everybody do me a favor. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Great Bama content. Like, subscribe, share the channel. We love you guys. Kyle, as always, man, I thank you for taking my call, and I'll be in the chat. And roll tide, roll as always.
Hey, we appreciate you, Sean. Thank you so much, man. Sean calling in and batting lead up for our show tonight. We appreciate you, Sean, more than you know. My name is Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Next week, we got SEC Media Days coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee. I'll be up in Nashville. Can't wait to hang out with friends from Nashville. That's back where the mothership is, right? You got On3 headquarters. And, man, it's amazing to see what On3 continues to do under the leadership of Shannon Terry. They got a great app out there. I'm not part of On3 anymore. I'm independent. I run this YouTube channel strictly by myself. I put my own food on the table. So that's why the YouTube channel for you guys hitting the thumbs up like is so important for me. I got kids. I got a 14-year-old, a 10-year-old, and I appreciate you guys watching. We're going to take our next caller in just a second, but I kind of want to run through some of these comments real quick. Sean, special thanks to you. Fantastic caller, of course. Same with Jarek from Buffalo. It's amazing to think that we have such intelligent fans. And when I was kind of thinking about, showcasing the fans, I was like, damn, we got some of the best callers that call into the show. And we've been doing this for 5-6 years now. And I think a lot of it is replicated across YouTube. And I love to see it. I love all the content creators. I've even been able to see for example, Josh Pate and what he's been able to do. I remember when he was starting out, the late kick, and to see where he's at now is really amazing. You got the guys at Touchdown Alabama who are doing their thing. You got so many different options, and I got respect from them all because it takes a lot of work to put in to get to that level. So a lot of respect for everybody out in the field. We'll take our next caller right now. We got a 608. Thank you very much for being patient. We'll start right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
I'm from Wisconsin. I called you once before. Good to talk to you again.
Yeah, what was your name, man?
Tom.
All right, Tom from Wisconsin, man. Go ahead, man. I love the Midwest cars. We went up to Huntsville. Now we're going a little bit further north all the way to Wisconsin, man. What are your biggest question marks kind of going into this 2023 season for the Alabama Crimson Tide?
Sure of everything. First of all, I think with the running back situation that we have, I think it's great, but I would think the concern there is you would want to have guys who could pound the ball and drag 3-4 guys like in the past with Richardson, Derrick Henry, Eddie Lacy. The list goes on in the back. When they were breaking tackles, 3-4 guys are going with them and going down the field and scoring touchdowns, or at least getting 4 or 5 yards of crack. And I think if we can get back to that again, it would be wonderful to help us, cut back on the passing game, because teams now are going to say this year, well, okay, if they're going to pass the ball, we're just going to sit back and say, okay, go ahead, run the ball. And if you can't run the ball, then we're in trouble. But I think we're going to be okay. Honestly, I think we are, and I think that with the quarterback situation, I think it is what it is. People can say what they want. If these two guys are going to compete, that's great. Maybe we can use them both at the same time until you get an established quarterback. That's my first thought about it anyway.
Who's going to be the quarterback? Just tell me, honestly. Like, I don't think we need to dance around this. Like, if you think someone's going to start, just tell me. I think it's going to be Jalen Milroe. What do you think, Tom?
I think so too. I think Jalen Milroe, he's just fast. I mean, the guy could get out there and, well, he proved that in the Texas game. Was it the Texas game when he came in and he had that big long run that kind of got him down the field, wasn't it? Was that
the two games that he played in last year that were like the marquee games with Texas A&M and then against Arkansas. That's
right. Yep. Those two games right there alone was proof that he can be good. I think it's going to be Milroe. I really do. If it comes down to it, and the running backs, I would hope to see these guys that are in there, can help them out. Block for them, and the same thing with the other calls saying about offensive line. If we can get the offensive line to coexist together, by God, we can. I just think I think for me, it's a revenge tour. We're on payback. We want to get Tennessee back. We want to get LSU back. Those two games that we lost, we would be in the national title game. We could have been last year easily. Mm-hmm. We could, out of the 3 of the 4 teams that were in there, we would have been favored in all those other games, right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's what Saban said. He was like, we're going off the odds. Yeah. We're supposed to be here. And I get it. I mean, he does have a point, for kind of going off that. I think, sometimes there's a little bit of that Bama fatigue that falls into, and the thing is, okay, it's so stupid how the playoffs are currently established. Like, there's a group of people that get in there and they're like, this team's better than no, that's so stupid. No, can you imagine if like the NBA playoffs or the NFL, imagine the NFL, was decided by like a group of people that just went in there and were like, I don't know, the Eagles. I mean, even though, Jalen Hurts has been hurt, I don't think they should. It's like, it's so stupid. There should be criteria for everybody to get into the playoffs. I'm sorry. Continue, Tom.
Well, then you look at the whole. Well, obviously, we all know Georgia is the pedigree, and they're the top of the mountain. That's how you got to beat them to get to where you want to be.
Yep.
Period. That's to get back to the top of the college football mountain. You got to go through them, and everybody else is getting better. And that's it's just the way it is. I mean, you can't, like the caller said before, you can't take away from Georgia. They've done it. They're on top of the mountain. Great, and we could have been in the last 2 national title games. We could have been there, but we didn't win them. Could have been there. It's all that woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff, but it's not. It's just not it. And I think that with Alabama, if they can get back to what they know best, I think they'll be okay. I really do. I believe in them, and I think they're going to get back to where they want to be. Get back to Atlanta. Let's make our reservations now. Let's go back to Atlanta and let's hand it to Georgia. Let's get them. I truly believe that. I really do.
Which, hey, Tom, before I let you go, before we move to our next caller, 205-850-1994. Look at the bottom of your screen. That is where the call-in line is. And if you can't see it, I'll make it like a bigger section on the screen. But it's 205-850-1994. Call in. Talk to me. Tom, last question that I got for you. Who are you most excited to see play this season going into 2023? Like when you look to like the roster and you read your preseason magazines and all that stuff, like who are you most excited to see?
Kyle Milroe, the quarterback. I'm really excited to see him. I want to see what he can do. I want to see if he can lead this team to where they want to be, and that's go back to the national title game. That's what I'm really excited to see. That really am. For me personally.
Tom, well, I appreciate you calling in, man. I got a spot for you anytime you want to call in. Thank you so much for your support all the way up from Wisconsin, man. We got Alabama fans everywhere. You enjoy the rest of your evening. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, thank you. Roll Tide.
All right, roll Tide to you, man. All right, good stuff. That's our buddy up in Wisconsin. That was Tom. We appreciate you calling in, Tom. And we got Nate inside the comment box says roll tide roll. This is a good question. Travis is like, I'm about to leave the chat. How often do you go live? Look, during the season, I think I might go live every single day. It's just like right now, I'm not going to post like fake news or anything like about it, like because this isn't the football season right now. So I'm kind of like waiting for the season. I'm chomping at the bit too. I'm bored, but I'm not going to post like Alabama's going to be good. Shocker. Like we get that. How good? How good is this team going to be? Are they going to be able to establish the mentality to win a national championship again this coming season? That is the ultimate goal. There's no second fiddle. There's no 10 wins. You have to win the national championship every single season. That should be your goal. Those are the standards of the Alabama Crimson Tide. I've been here since 2016, and that's what I'm accustomed to. I've covered so many national title games. That's what I'm used to. Last year when Alabama doesn't make it, sure, I love to go to New Orleans. Who doesn't like to go down to New Orleans and hang out? I mean, I was actually just in New Orleans and I had a good time. The people from New Orleans have always treated me well and I love oysters. So yeah, exactly. Thank you, Eric D. This is the point right here. It's natty or bust. Okay. We got our next caller and we will take it right now. It's a 256. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Kyle, this is Jay from Florence. What's up with you, man?
What's up, man? How you doing, man? I know we've been texting a couple times, and tonight you make your 2023 debut. So what's up, man? How you been?
Well, I'm finna come here live and on fire right now.
All right. So let me just. I'm gonna beat you to the punch right now. Alabama lost last year to LSU and to Tennessee. Is this like we always talk about revenge tour? Like who do you want to see Alabama beat more this season, LSU or Tennessee?
Personally, I say I want to see us just drag Tennessee. Hey, LSU, man, that's like little brother, man. I'm okay. You know, I was the oldest brother, so growing up, you lose a fight every once in a while to your little brother. You know what I mean? But you shake his hand like, good job, man, you got me. But Tennessee? No, man, you the enemy, dog. I hate that they're on.
Jay, I asked Sean this earlier. We talked about the mentality. We talked a little bit about the defensive side of the ball. We talked about the quarterback. Before I ask you your take on who's going to be the quarterback leading this team, your thoughts on Kevin Steele taking over this defense for Nick Saban. I think Kevin Steele's like 67 or something like that. Coach Saban, up in his early 70s. And it's really interesting to me that, Coach Saban went with somebody who has more wisdom, more knowledge, who's been here, I think this is his third round back at Bama. What is your take on Kevin Steele? Because I think there's kind of been some mixed emotions following Pete Golding. A lot of people wanted Golding gone, clearly, but then they went to Kevin Steele. So what's your take there?
Yeah, Kevin Steele, well, Golden sucked. I agree with everybody that Golden sucked. But Kevin Steele, with that hire, I say Nick, he a real homeboy, man, because Kevin Steele was like a year away from, you got to work so many years in the state of Alabama to get your retirement or whatever.
Yep.
And I think this year here, this is going to put him over the top to get the retirement. So Nick looked out for his friend right there. But the football part, man, I feel like he's going to be real versatile, real simple, and real violent. That's how Auburn defenses were. They were just simple defenses, and he just let them boys play football. That's what I brought you here, not to Dallas Turner, not to drop back 30 yards in coverage. Nah, man, I brought you here to hit a quarterback. So that's all I need you to do. It's going to be real simple and real violent on defense.
Is there one player on defense outside of Dallas Turner or Kool-Aid that you're excited to see going into this season, maybe that we haven't talked a little bit about kind of in the preseason?
Well, that was going to be me coming in fire. One of my players to look out for, I feel like Trey Amos is going to come get that cornerback spot from Terrion Arnold.
Wow.
I feel like he a first-round corner, man. He played the trail technique perfect. He played the hands of the receiver perfect. I mean, and Terrion not playing his natural position. Yeah, you a great athlete, but you a safety, dog. He's a safety. We know that. I mean, now we got a little corner depth now, so don't put him at star. Don't put Terrion at star and let Amos have it outside because he's a better outside corner.
Where do you see Jalen Key then fitting in? Everyone's like, wow. Because look, Jay from this, we're on the line with Jay from Florence. Jay, I love you. I disagree right now. I really like Terran Arnold, but I love that you brought that to the table. Where do you see Jalen Key fitting in on this defense?
That safety position, that to me, that's where the versatility come in there with that safety position. Because this year we got to see a guy like Christian Story. Yeah, we talk about Jalen Key, but I mean, Key, he wasn't no highly recruited guy coming out of high school, and you only really played 1 year at UAB. So I really see him being like a special teams captain or something like that. Try it that way, because the safety room is just too deep right now for Key to just walk in and be a starter unless he played a star position or something like that. But like I say, I think Amos going to be on the outside, so I don't know. But the secondary, that's part of why I say our defense is going to be so versatile, because why not see all 6 DBs on the field and 5 pass rushers? Why not? When you got the athletes to do it and hopefully the scheme to go get the quarterback, right?
Hey, Jay, just a couple days ago, what's up, everyone? Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. We appreciate you guys more than you know. Super chats appreciated. You can also hit the join button at the bottom of this video. This is how I support my family, literally the YouTube channel. So all the support, I really appreciate you guys. I'm independent. Bama Football on YouTube. Really appreciate you guys. Jay, a couple, I think it was last week or the week before, Jamil Burrow, off the field issues, entered the transfer portal. Is that a big loss to the defensive line in your opinion, or will Alabama just continue to move through like he wasn't even on the roster?
To me, I felt like Nick let them go so easily, and Russ really not getting the whole story of what did happen. I feel like that's just Nick letting them know, like, hey, bro, I got 17 other dogs that played the same position, bro. Like, you're really not a big loss. Yeah, you played a bunch, and you did okay when you played, but these people, I see a little bit more production in them, and they're younger. So if you want to dip or you don't want to do what you need to do to be on this team, good lucks to you in that portal, buddy.
Yeah, I think so. I think, I felt that Jamil Burrows was going to contribute this year, but I think right now, and listen, this is very important. I want to ask everybody, you don't have to answer me right now. Just think about it for a few minutes. Do you feel that the brand kind of Alabama, specifically of some of these off the field incidents that have happened, like there's no like Alabama, clearly like people talking about like the brand and the image of Alabama, right? Like people talk about what happened with Tony Mitchell. They talk about what happened with the baseball coach. Talk about what happened with, the incident with the basketball team. Like it seemed like now there's no messing around. Like you cannot foster some of this. And I think, Coach Saban's trying to make maybe a summer message.
Yeah, that's man, you said that perfect, Kyle, because if we look at our sports as a whole, man, we've been kind of this year here. We was a little shaky this year all over the map.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, no one really wants to talk about it, but I mean, seriously, from an image standpoint, got to clean it up. With that said, I think, that's why it's so imperative for a player like Tony Mitchell to keep his head on straight. You apologize. You take accountability for what you did. Now, this is your second chance. Right? We are believers of second chances. I am not perfect. You are not perfect. These are kids at this young level. But now that you've had a second chance, keep your head on straight. Surround yourself with positive people. Listen to Coach Saban and go play football and stay in the class. Right? Like those are the things that we need to do. So it's just, it's paramount that I think for the brand overall that they can't be kind of slipping up. We got a Georgia fan inside the chat. Let's see what he has to say. I was born and raised in Georgia, went to UGA. My first 2 years of college, never said I wasn't a Georgia fan, just like Bama. Hey, Jay, before I let you go, and we'll get to our next caller, 205-850-1994. That is the call-in line. 205-850-1994 is the call-in line. I didn't ask you this yet, Jay, but I have to ask you before I let you go. Who's going to start at quarterback for the beginning of the season? Is it going to be Jalen Milroe, Tyler Buckner, Ty Simpson? I want to get your take on the quarterback position.
It's gonna be a three-way tie until about the third game of the season, and Tyler Buckner gonna break out for the win, guys. I just think he's the best quarterback. He's the best quarterback on the roster right now. He got the most familiarity with Reese. He got better athletes around him now. It was a reason he came out of high school ranked higher than Milroe. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, he got the experience. I just don't see where this man lose his job because Nick done went and got him for a reason. Obviously, he ain't see what he's supposed to see out the guys that we got there.
Hey.
You know, hey, Roll Tide, I love y'all, man.
Hey, Jay, just like Tom from Wisconsin, just like Sean from Huntsville, we got a seat at the table for you, man. So anytime you want to call in, you call in. We appreciate you more than you know. Have a great Monday evening, and we'll talk to you soon, man. We'll holler at you next time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, that's my boy Jay up in Florence. I appreciate it. We'll get to our, we got a 731 calling in. The calling line is at the bottom of the screen. I'll post it inside the comment box right now just so you guys can get familiar with it. Somebody asked me, they're like, when are you going to, like, what's the schedule for the live shows? Look, I want to come on here and talk Alabama football with you as well. It's just like, it's a summertime. I'm like, you know, chomping at the bit to like talk Alabama football. I'm just trying to get there. So we will have a regularly scheduled program once we get to the season. I consider the season like SEC Media Days, and then when Alabama has its first practice, which would be like August 2nd, August 3rd or something like that. So right now, let's just get to the summertime and enjoy, you know, kind of navigating through this time. Kyle Henderson, Alabama football on YouTube. If you don't know me, now you know. And I've been doing this. I've been in this industry for, I think, 17 years, and I've lived in Tuscaloosa since 2017. I currently run the YouTube channel Bama Football on YouTube, independent. I don't work for Rivals. I don't work for On3. I did work for each of those companies. Now I run it independently, and I'm really blessed to be able to do what I do. I love, you know, the call-in show and the creative content side of things. So thank you for supporting me. If you can't hit me with the super chat, just hit me with the thumbs up. It goes a long way. I appreciate you guys more than you know. We'll get to our next caller, and we'll start right now. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, I'm Alex, and I'm from Savannah, Tennessee.
Hey, what's up, Alex? Thanks for calling in, man. I think we wrapped a couple times, man. I want to start out Savannah, Tennessee. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Who's going to be the quarterback?
I think Jalen Milroe because he already has some experience, and I think if he can just make better reads and learn how to pass better, then he will be deadly, especially with his speed.
Do you feel that, because I was just talking to Jay from Florence, and he said that he feels that Buckner probably has a little bit of an upside, being that him and Tommy Rees have some history, being that Tommy Rees was at Notre Dame and, you know, Tyler Buckner transferred from Notre Dame.
I don't really agree because Saban doesn't really allow his offense or anything to change, really. Mm-hmm. Besides, like, I mean, the coordinator can call more running or passing plays, but, like, the type of offense doesn't really change, so I really don't think he does. I mean, the only thing I can see Buckner having an advantage over is knowing, like, how many running plays and passing plays he does call. That's really the only thing I see. So,
on the line with Alex from Savannah, Tennessee. Didn't even know there was a Savannah, Tennessee, man. It's like I learn new places all the time. I think when you look at the quarterback position, and somebody asked me just recently inside the chat about the inside linebacker position. Sean, can you tell him about the inside linebacker position while I'm on the line with Alex? Because I'd like to talk more about the inside linebacker position as well. Oh, that was posted by Vincent. I see you up there. Thanks for watching, Vincent. Hey, Alex, when we look to this team and kind of people talk about Reg Bench tour and all this stuff, when we actually look to the actual season, that week 2 game against Texas really stands out to me because last year's game, I mean, it was thrilling. I mean, you watched it, I watched it, and with all the weapons that Texas has coming back, being that even the way that the game ended last year, right, with like Alabama fans kind of. Or it was Alabama players that were kind of like chomping at the bit to Texas. I mean, there's a lot. Like Texas is probably excited to come to Tuscaloosa, and I think Alabama fans excited to see him as well. What are your thoughts on Alabama versus Texas? And I know this was filed under rat poison because this is week 2, and we're supposed to only talk about week 1. But you know, Texas, Alabama, people really excited for that week 2 matchup.
I didn't understand that last question. What did you say?
Just
Did you say,
what are your thoughts? What are your
excited?
thoughts like Alabama, Texas? Because when you look to Texas's offense, they're loaded.
Oh yeah, they are. I do think Alabama's going to win. But that might be just because I'm an Alabama fan. But it's also in Tuscaloosa, and Alabama hasn't lost a game in Tuscaloosa since that 2019 LSU game. So, I do think it will be a good game. I think we will play better. Knowing what they have, it won't really take our players by surprise. I think the defense will be a lot better, so I know they will. And, well, I'm excited for it. That's really all I can say, really.
I think when I look to Texas versus Alabama, there's a couple things that I look at. This is a funny picture. I need to put this up. Do you guys remember this particular play? Let me get this out of the way. When Bryce somehow was upside down, he was inverted, and he still got the football off. Do you guys remember that? That was crazy. That was one of the weird, right? And he was in the end zone. That was one of the weirdest things I've seen in a while. When I looked at this game, I think when we talk Alabama versus Texas, I think that one of the things I look at is going to be interesting to see how Alabama is going to be able to do in the secondary, because Texas has some incredible wide receivers that are coming back, right? You have Xavier Worthy. You have the transfer from Georgia. You have that tight end who's really dangerous. Bijan Robinson, they have to replace him at the running back position. But I think I'm excited to get that game, and kind of see it here in Alabama. And I think Alabama is currently favored by 7. Last year was a 1-point game. Excited to check that out. Alex, we're on the line with Alex from Savannah, Tennessee. Who are you most excited about from the wide receiver room for Alabama?
I think it's got to be Malik Benson. From what I heard, he's really good at running his routes. And I watched a little bit of the 8A game. I didn't really watch it live. I kind of just watched it on the video of after the stream on YouTube. Mm-hmm. There's 2 parts, the first half and the second half. Mm-hmm. And I noticed he was pretty decent. I mean, the defense was locking up. So, I know this is a little off topic, but people were saying how the offense did terrible, but I really don't think it did, because the defense did do really well. Mm-hmm. But I am very excited for Malik Benson. I believe he could be very good for us this year, and Isaiah Bond could have a breakout year too. But I say Malik Benson will be my favorite.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've been talking about Malik Benson for quite some time, and I think that the first time that I saw Malik Benson, he was catching passes for Bryce Young. See if I can find it. Here we go. I was able to find it. And I was really impressed with just kind of his takeoff, honestly. I saw a lot of speed from him, and I think it's going to be up to the quarterbacks to be able to get him the football kind of 25 yards downfield, and if he can be a receiver. When was the last? There we go. This is Malik Benson right here. You can just see, I think when we look to his tape, that explosion, his ability to catch the football, turn it upfield. I get it. It's against, air, but he is catching from the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. But you can just see there's a big difference between the way that he is able to distribute his routes, his explosion based off the wide receivers that we've had kind of over the last maybe year. I think last year was a big step back for the wide receivers. A lot of people have difference of opinion on I think it's Jermaine Burton, right? I mean, people just aren't excited about Burton coming back. And that's facts. And look, I feel that as soon as these players were able to start getting paid, we can be super critical of these players, right? They're pros. Once you can get paid to play, you're a pro, in my opinion. So look, if you're not the guy, you're not the guy. And it's up to Jermaine Burton to prove that to his teammates, to Coach Saban, to the guys that he is the man. But from what we saw last year, just wasn't that impressive. And I think people inside the comment box kind of probably feeling the same. I mean, I think there's some really super sophomores in this class. You mentioned Isaiah Hastings, people are mentioning Kendrick Law, and then throw in Kobe Prentice, right? Those sophomores are going to get on the field. You add in Malik Benson. So I am more excited about this wide receiver room. Alex, before I let you go, what do you think about the tight end room while we're talking, pass catchers? CJ Dupree, Robbie Oots.
Well, I don't know. I really don't really keep up with tight ends much.
Right.
Really, I don't know why I don't. I more keep up with like running backs now, like and receivers, because that's really what I think we're going to be using a little bit more, like receivers and passing, and well, we're going to be running a lot more too with Tommy Rees. But I really don't know. Really, I'll just have to see for myself during the games.
I love it, dude, because nobody knows about the tight ends, man. That's a tough question. I couldn't even tell you about all I know. I could tell you about this from CJ Dupree is that he played at Maryland, he transferred to Alabama. He's probably going to start him or Danny Lewis, and then you got Robert Woods, who's a freight train, kind of inside the goal line that you need, out there as a kind of an H back. Hey, Alex, I appreciate it. You calling in, you got a seat at the table, man, anytime. So call in. We appreciate you more than you know, and you have a good night.
All right, you too.
Nobody knows about the tight ends, right? Come on now. Call-in line is, the call-in is open, 205-850-1994. I'm going to post it on the screen right now. Brock is saying Danny Lewis is a beast for sure. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like nobody knows about the tight ends. Alex from Savannah, Tennessee, I appreciate you calling in. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. We got 168 watching on Monday, July 10th. Next week I'll be up in Nashville. I'm gonna bring my gear up to Nashville and do the call-in show. Maybe I'll go do it from Broadway, right? Nashville's always treated me good. I love Nashville. It's always fun. And it's really not that far from Tuscaloosa. I'm not excited about staying at like the Hyatt, the Hyatt down there. I mean, it was super expensive when I booked my ticket. So I need those super chats. I need you guys to hit the thumbs up for that. We are talking about Alabama clearly going into the season. Everyone's excited because next week is SEC Media Day. Alabama will talk to the media on Wednesday. I'll have those interviews for you posted right here on our YouTube channel. You're going to have an opportunity to hear from Nick Saban and also J.C. Latham, clearly one of the leaders from the offensive side on the Alabama offensive line. And then you have Dallas Turner and Kool-Aid, JaQuincy McKinstry speaking for the Crimson Tide. We got our next caller, and we'll take it right now. It's a 256. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Yeah, this is Larry. I'm calling from Huntsville.
Larry, how's it going? How's your Monday night?
Well, sir, it's absolutely fantastic. My wife and I celebrated our 41st year of anniversary this evening.
That's unbelievable. And I want to say congratulations because, man, I have to tell you guys, I was recently divorced after 13 years, personal. And it was terrible. I mean, honestly, she's the love of my life. And I commend you because the thing about it is like we all go through trials and tribulations, right? And like a marriage is so sacred. And I just like for you guys to be able to stand, through all of that stuff is just really commendable. And I'm just like, congratulations, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. I'm really happy for you. And even happier that you called tonight to talk Alabama football. So going into SEC Media Days, just right out the gates, who's the starting quarterback?
Kyle, we've been talking about this. My brother-in-law and I, we're both ushers down there, so we see quite a bit and hear quite a bit. Going in and out of there a lot, and excuse me, my dog, I'm out sitting outside.
Is that a bulldog?
No, it's a terrifying Yorkie. But, if I was to make a call today, I'm going to say it's Jalen Milroe, and I'll give you a reason why. I think Milroe's got his head on right. I think he understands the mistakes he's made in the past. I think he's got a good handle on what he needs to do with that offense now. And, I know that you probably heard the I don't want to call them rumors because I think it's pretty much facts where he took several of the receivers down to Florida, and they spent a good bit of time down there, just working one-on-one. And so just those kind of attitudes and that mentality by Jalen, I think is going to wind up winning him the starting job. September 2nd.
I think, yeah, I'm right with you, and I've talked about this before. I think, Jalen is going to be such a hard quarterback to prepare for, right? Just because he's look at him right here. I mean, the dude is 235 pounds and one of the fastest players on the team, and people want to see how he can throw that deep ball. And I think even Jalen, you kind of rewind to the springtime when he threw that dime to Ja'Cory Brooks, and he even I think he subtweeted Alabama. Was because the thing is look, I'm making progress. And was the progress there on A-Day? Probably not, but that's a glorified practice. You can't take away too much from one particular practice. It's a practice. I mean, that's what it is. So I think, Jordan, what's up, man? Got you a super chat. We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And look, it's going to be his job to lose. And who did Alabama go to last year when Bryce was injured? They went to Jalen Milroe. I mean, he had an opportunity. Say what you want. Texas A&M started to slide off the rails. That was a marquee game. When Texas A&M and Alabama played, that's a marquee game. And he comes in and he wins that game. It wasn't pretty. There was turnovers, but look, he won that game. And the point is to win that game. You go into Arkansas in a hostile environment, and yes, it was more Jahmyr Gibbs who carried the shoulder load against the Hogs. But Sam Pittman is a tough coach to coach against, period. I think he's probably been the best asset to the SEC, in a long time, Sam Pittman. That's why Nick Saban wanted Sam Pittman on his team, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Kyle.
Sam Pittman is unbelievable. And if you're not talking about Sam Pittman, you don't know college football. That man, he's got it. And, credit to Arkansas because he has certainly transformed that program. They're a formidable opponent, 100%. Larry, when we look to this wide receiver room, we talked a little bit about it with Alex. Did you feel that there was a drop-off last season at the wide receiver position?
Oh, absolutely. Well, one of the biggest things, and I say again, we see a lot and so forth when you can be there at every game just about. And what the biggest concern that I had last year is our guys or the receivers just did not know how to get separation. And, if you go back to the 2018, 19, 2020 seasons, and those receivers, even when their first cut, they would be covered. It was their second one where they'd break off the routes. Then they'd create separations for the quarterback to find them. They couldn't do that, Kyle. And I'm not talking bad about the guys. I love all those guys. I mean, they're Bama guys, but it just there was something drastically wrong last year, just from the standpoint of them, not just the receiving core. It just seemed like just as a whole, it just something wasn't meshing, something wasn't right with all the guys, for the most part, but.
Larry, I think for me with the wide receivers is we had Devontae Smith. He's by far the most incredible wide receiver I've covered, period. You had Jerry Jeudy. You had Henry Ruggs, right? Yes, thank you, Larry. Ever. And look, no disrespect to the greats, the OG, Julio Jones or Amari Cooper, even Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley was just leaving as I was getting here. There was nobody like Devontae Smith. And you know what it was? It was the mentality. You can't throw this word around. Yeah, exactly. And you can't throw this around easily. The Mamba mentality, because Kobe had the Mamba mentality. There's few people that have it. Devontae Smith, certainly one of them. And I think my point is I don't know. Everyone's bring back the Bama mentality. I don't know if that exists anymore or whatever, but from the wide receivers, I didn't see that. After John Mechie and Jameson, those were rideouts, right? Remember the rideouts? I don't think these guys last year were necessarily rideouts. call it rat poison or whatever, put it on the wall. Like, those weren't rideouts. There was no like karate. Like, no, that wasn't it. So bring that back, and then we can call you rideouts when you start playing like a rideout, because those guys last year were not rideouts.
Well, you know, I was listening to you a little bit ago, Kyle, and you was asking about the receivers and who we thought the breakout was going to be. You know, I watched. We've been to every A-Day game since Saban's been there. My brother-in-law and I, and we don't put too much stock into it because, you know, as you said it, Eduardo, it's a glorified, you know, scrimmage is what it is. I mean, everybody on both sides of the ball knows what's going to be run before it's even snapped. But the thing about it, what I watch for, is just how guys are the effort that they're giving. And what you're talking about, these receivers, you know, who is going to be the breakout. You know, Malik Benson, I think, has got the potential. I agree with you 100% on it. I think that he possibly could be one of our biggest assets in the wide receiver group. But the one that I'm really watching and the one that I think is going to have a breakout year is going to be Kendrick Law. This dude is a friggin' linebacker with speed. And I'm telling you, he plays with attitude. If you don't believe me, go back and watch him on special teams. Watch him on special teams. And if you go back to last year, this guy played and, hustled down the field, and he had an attitude. And that's the same way Devontae Smith was playing wide receiver. I mean, the guy just didn't quit. He didn't quit on and give up on any play. And, you know, I was reading an article today where Richard Sherman was talking about how Devontae Smith carried him to school, you know, in the third game of the year, you know, and how he made him pull his growing muscle. And he said, it's time for me to go when these young guys are treating me like this, you know. But, you know, I think this team, and what I've been reading and what I've been hearing, and the camaraderie that they've been having this summer and during the off season or whatever, and how they're doing everything together. I mean, these guys are playing marbles together, man. I mean, they're fishing, they're going to Top Golf. I mean, they're doing all kind of things, and it's not just one group; it's all of them, you know. And I think, you know, old Booker said it well. He said, I think we've got a mentality of where we're going to get back to the Alabama football way.
Hey, Larry, we got to go to our next caller. But before we go, I have to bring this up because you said it. It was Kendrick Law. I brought this up earlier, but it didn't really take off. But because I followed the 49ers, right? Every Sunday, my son and I, we watch the 49ers play. And I mean, you got Debo, right? And look, like Kendrick Law next to Debo, I get it. Debo Samuel is something else, but I mean, Kendrick Law, if you can get creative and use him in terms of, you know, the speed and what he brings, I'm just saying, I think that Kendrick Law is certainly going to be a weapon for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I can't wait to see him play. Certainly looked great. All those sophomores, right? Isaiah Bond, Kobe Prentice, Kendrick Law, incredible group. And then someone said it inside the comment box as well. Amari Niblack. Yes, 100%. I think if we can get, you know, a little bit more weight on Amari Niblack, I think he's going to be a guy as well. Larry, you got a seat at the table. Hold on. I want to say this. When I say these words, you got a seat at the table, that means you can call in again. That means I wrote your number down and you can call in again. If I don't say you got a seat at the table, that means you're just a watcher, okay? So seat at the table means that people like to listen to what you say. And listen, no disrespect. If you're not bringing it, then I don't want you to call in. I love you guys all, but this is an entertainment show. So you got a seat at the table. That means call back in. Larry from Huntsville, you got a seat at the table. You have passed to the next round. We appreciate you guys calling in.
Thanks, Kyle. I appreciate you, brother. You do a great job.
All right, man. Take it easy, Larry. All right. That was Larry up in Huntsville. What's up? It's Kyle Henderson. Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I'm happy. I'm pumped up to be talking Alabama football. And I think that there's so many question marks about this team. And it stems more from the quarterback play. You got a new OC, you got a new DC. You don't know what's going to happen in week 2 against Texas. Coach Saban be mad because we're not talking about the first game of the season. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things to talk about besides the quarterback. But of course, if you call in, I'm going to put you on the spot and I'm going to ask you who the quarterback is for the 2023 season. All right. We got callers coming. We got a 334 and then so let's see. We got a 334 and we'll take that right now. What's up? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson of Bama football. Who are on the line with him? Where are you calling in from?
Hunter from Alabama.
Hunter, right?
Yes. How's it going, man?
What's up, big dog? How you doing, man? Good to hear from you.
I'm good.
So I got no. I got to ask you before we get out the gates, who's going to be the quarterback?
Jalen Milroe.
All right. Tell me why.
I just they bought him in for a reason, and they tried to flip him from Texas for a reason. People can hate on him from the 2 games that he played in, but that's a very tough environment to be thrown into, and we've seen him have spurts of greatness, and making plays, and I just haven't sold my Jalen stock.
I'm right with you. I'm holding it as well. Look, it's his to lose, period. So with that being said, we've talked about the wide receivers a little bit tonight. We talked about Kool-Aid and the fact that he's going to be there. We talked about Dallas Turner, talked about Kevin Still. You can rewind and watch the show. But we haven't talked about the inside linebackers. And Hunter, I don't know if you know a lot about the inside linebackers, but I'd like to kind of, talk about the linebackers if you don't mind, because that's kind of an area, after Henry Toto has exited along with Jalen Moody. I mean, that's kind of some spots up for grabs, and people talking about Kendrick Blackshire, or at least asking about him. What's your take on the inside linebackers? What do you know about kind of the linebackers coming back for the 2023 season?
First of all, I'm an Alabama fanatic, so I know just about everything about this team. Second of all, linebackers. I think Kendrick Law is going to have a shot to grab it. I think another guy that we need to watch out for is Sean Murphy. And then, of course, Lawson is, I think he's got an automatic, he's got the starting position locked down on one of those positions. But I also think that, I think the Sam position, I think that's probably up for grabs. And I think there's probably several guys, even Jahad Campbell, I think could contribute some this year. So I think there's competition at that position.
Yeah, I think so as well. And then you also have a new inside linebacker coach, Robert Balla, who's taking over, right, for Pete Golding, because Pete Golding was the inside linebackers coach and also the defensive coordinator. I think I asked earlier, I talked to Jay and I asked Tom even about kind of the new defense under Kevin Still, and Coach Saban said that Kevin Still is going to coach the entire defense, right? That's what the defense coordinator does, but it's not going to have like one sole position that he's going to focus on. Are you excited about Kevin Still, or do you have mixed kind of, take on him? Like, what do you think?
I trust Saban. He's been with Alabama before, so for him to bring him back says a lot. It says a lot. And he's been around the game for years. And so he's got the wealth of knowledge. And I think he's going to simplify this defense. I think Pete Golding's defense was too complicated. And I think he's going to simplify the defense and just, go back to that being that physical defense that we had been in years past.
Yeah, I think so. And people have really said this about the defense. They've said simplified. And I think I've said this a bunch of times on my shows. Is like when I watch Pete Golding, I mean, he could talk, and he was telling people about the defense and scheming. It was stuff that was just flying over my head. But I looked into the players' eyes, the defense's eyes, and what they were looking at was just like they was just all over the place. Like they couldn't really just kind of focus. And I think with the defense, there's one job, especially with the inside linebacker, and that is to wreak havoc on the opposing, player with the football. And it doesn't have to be complicated when you're on the defensive side of the ball. And I think there's been past interviews to where former Alabama greats have talked about there's been times that they just ran like 2 plays, right? And I think when Alabama has players that are athletic enough that you don't have to overcomplicate the defense because these guys are so good. Just my take. Jay Sports Card is asking, are you still part of Touchdown Alabama? No. I'm not part of anybody. Nobody. Now, I'm the boss. This is my YouTube channel. I don't answer to anybody. The mothership is on 3. They're doing their own thing. They're doing a great job. You have Rivals, who I used to work for. They were an incredible company to work for. I worked for them for a long time. You have AL.com. You have 24/7. You have ESPN. You have all these different entities. I'm by myself. So, no, I don't work for anybody else but myself. So that is kind of the answer. Hunter, what are some other questions you got going into the season right now when you look at this Alabama roster up and down?
I think safety is an interesting position to look at. Mm-hmm. I mean, are we going to see Caleb Downs, come off as a starter? Mm. Are we going to see Malachi Moore move to that kind of a star money position? Mm-hmm. Who's going to be the safety? I think the corner position is a lot more straightforward, but I think the safety position is kind of got some competition going on.
Yeah, you know what? You're actually the first caller that has brought up Caleb Downs. Weren't you just like blown away by? I mean, we've talked a lot about Justice Haynes at the running back position, but from a safety standpoint, I had my binoculars because up at Bryant-Denny, like how the media is up, you're far away from the field. So I had binoculars. Actually, the left binocular wasn't working, like the left lens. So I was looking at it just with the right. I looked like a pirate up in the press box, but I was looking down and I was comparing like Malachi Moore, who's put on a tremendous amount of weight. He was right next to Caleb Downs and it looked the exact same size. And for him to come in, I think Caleb Downs, I mean, my goodness, like he's certainly going to contribute, if not start right away in game 1. Wouldn't you agree, Hunter?
Yeah, I really do. I think Antonio Kite also has, he's been in the program for a few seasons. Let's see if he comes on this year and plays a big of a role. Christian Story is another guy to look at too.
Oh, yep.
I think the coaching staff probably looks at him as more as a corner option, but I think Christian can also play safety if he had to. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a wait and see type of thing. But Downs is, he was the number 1, overall DB in the country for a reason. So. I think it's very likely that he plays a significant role in this defense.
I asked Alex about this earlier. Alex called from Savannah, Tennessee, and we were talking a little bit about that Week 2 matchup with Texas. And I know that Texas game is on a lot of people's mind. When you look to that Texas versus Alabama game, what are your thoughts about that? I think that Alabama is certainly going to be challenged in that secondary, considered it's Week 2. You're coming off that Middle Tennessee game. I think there's just going to be a lot of speed from Texas on the outside. Clearly, Texas probably have a healthy quarterback this time around. What are your early thoughts on Alabama versus Texas?
I think it's going to be one of the best games of the year in all of college football, not just in Alabama. I don't think this Texas defense is going to be as good as they were last year. They still got. I mean, they're going to be a good team for sure. We'll see. I will know. I'll have a lot more questions answered about that game after we see Alabama play Week 1. Now we don't play any. We're not playing a big team. A good opponent in Week 1, but we'll get to see what this team looks like in Week 1 and kind of get a feel for how this team's going to be. But I think it's going to be one of the best games of the year.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
If you ask me.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. All right, Hunter from Alabama, thank you so much for calling in, man. You seat at the table, man. So 4 in a row. We got seats at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 seats at the table so far, man. I'm being generous tonight. But Hunter, you're a longtime caller. I appreciate your support, man. And hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time, okay?
Hey, man, I just want to say something real quick. I'm very proud of you, man, for sticking with YouTube and sticking this whole thing out. Through all the changes that you've been through, and I've always liked watching you when you were with On 3 and then with Rival. So I've been rocking with you, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate the support, man. I can't deny that I went through a lot last year, honestly. And I think, like, I haven't really been open with this, but, man, I'm telling you, like, I went through a lot of some mental health stuff last year. And now I have a lot more empathy for people who deal with depression, who go through hard times, who change jobs, who get divorced, all that stuff, man. I mean, it was real. And I'm telling you, there was a couple people that called in who sent texts, man, and just checked on me. And I appreciate it, honestly. I haven't really been too public about that stuff, but it was, man. One time Jarek just sent me a text, man, like randomly, and was like, hey, doing all right? So point is, check on your people, honestly. And, we have to take care of each other, man. So I appreciate it, Hunter, and we'll catch up with you next time.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Yep. Hunter calling in from Alabama. Alex, I see you back inside the comment box, man. We're only taking one call a night from our fans, so we're gonna move to our 314. So call back next time. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. We appreciate you guys more than you know, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Been here since 2017. A lot of storylines going into the 2023 season. Most revolve around who's going to be the quarterback for this coming season, but there's a lot more that we can talk about. The inside linebacker play. Sean, maybe you and I should do a video on that, and we should talk about the inside linebacker, because I think there's a lot of interest there. We've talked about the secondary, and the secondary, that Caleb Downs, and how about Jay? This was probably when we kind of reflect back on the show. Jay from Florence came out with guns blazing, talking about Trey Amos just going to come in and take Terran Arnold's spot. That was great. I loved that. Just with the confidence, he was really excited. Said that Jalen Key is going to play that safety spot. Alex had some really good points. We talked a little bit about Texas as well, and then we had Larry from Huntsville coming in with some good knowledge, and we opened up the show with Tom from Wisconsin. But we're not done yet. We got a couple more callers to get through, and we're going to take our next caller. It's 314, and we start right now. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson.
This is my first time.
Yeah, hold on. This
is my first time calling.
Hold on. This is how we do it. Okay.
Okay.
You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
My name is Jimmy, and I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
There we go, man. That's how we start off, man. How you doing?
My fault,
So
man.
wait,
I'm sorry,
man. This
I'm good, man.
Did you say is Timmy?
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Okay, Jimmy. Let me get this down. Jimmy from St. Louis. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And
yeah, man.
Man,
I'm enjoying y'all's show, man.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. The thing about it, man, is like, this is me. Like, if you hang out with me, this is me. And I'm going to tell you something about myself. I am the most competitive person. We play cornhole, I'm beating you. We're drawing up a tournament on this board, and I'm beating every single body in this comment box. We play darts, I'm beating you. We play golf, I'm beating you. Like, that's it, man. So, Jimmy, whatever sport, man, okay. I'll drive up to St. Louis, man, and we'll play whatever, man. Checkers, chess, I got you.
Okay. All right, man. You got a lot of people listening from St. Louis, man.
That's good, man. So, what's your take on this team, man? How kind of like give us the...
Oh, man, what I think on this team... can I be honest with you? You want me to sugarcoat?
No. See, that's the thing. Like, it's not like everything isn't going great. Otherwise, Coach Saban would still have the OC and the DC from last year. Alabama would have 2 more national titles. Like, no, like things need to be fixed in Tuscaloosa, and it's okay to say that. Like, the goal is a national championship. It's not to play Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl.
Right. But I'm going to be honest with you, man. I see Alabama going back to the national championship this year, man. And I also believe that this class of 23 that they got in there, man, I'm telling you, man, this gonna be a special group.
Mm.
I'm gonna come straight out and tell you, man, I'm a big time Miles McVay fan.
That's a big
Are
man.
you familiar with Miles?
Hell yeah, I'm familiar with him.
Okay.
All of the
Okay,
offensive
okay.
linemen that are coming in under Eric Wolford are gigantic, right? I mean, they're huge humans. So, what's your take on Miles McVay? I mean, from your area, what's kind of your take on him?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, man. Miles is a type of player. He's a very technique guy, man. I mean, he studies, and he destroy people. I'm just telling you, man. He ain't gonna do all the flashy stuff, none of that. But I'm telling you, man, he's a special kid, and I'm telling you, don't be surprised he be on that field. Cause I've been watching this kid ever since he was 6 years old. And, man, he's been special like that all his life. He ain't never sit on the bench in his life. I know this is going to be a challenge for him, but I'm going to tell you what, though, man. He's a special kid, man. I'm telling you. And you should try to get to know him.
So I have him here on Alabama's roster. He's 6'6", 360. I'm sure he's probably cut some weight since that time.
Oh, yeah, man. He's 330. He's 335 now.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. And clearly, he's a tackle, right? I mean, with that frame, with the arm length, right?
Yep.
So you got him. And the crazy thing is you have him and you have Caden Proctor, right? You're talking about two towers coming in. That's the future of Alabama's offensive line, 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm telling you, man, this class of 23 is going to be special, man. And you're going to come back and tell me, hey, Jimmy was right. I'm telling you, man, I really believe, man, these next 3 years, I really believe Alabama's going to be on point, man. I mean, you got a lot of good freshmen on that team, man. And they're going to be pushing them big boy. I mean, they're going to be pushing them veterans for a job, too. I really believe that. What you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I think like this last class was just phenomenal. This class, I kind of have to, this current class is 2024. I know, Alabama added, two to the class of 2024, and I want to talk a little bit about recruiting on maybe another show, but I still kind of have to sit back and absorb it a little bit. But what we've seen from 2023. It's unbelievable. I mean, that class, and especially kind of adding a couple transfers on top of it, it's remarkable. And the crazy thing about the world of college football now is how many early enrollees there are each particular year, right? It didn't always have to be like that. Remember, a couple years ago, you had like 8 early enrollees. Now it's like, what was it this year? Like 17 or 18 or more than that?
7. It was 20.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy that all of those guys are able to finish up school. Like, remember back in like the old days when you would graduate like in May, and then you would like go in the summertime and you would play. So the thing about this, so when these players early enroll, you have the fourth quarter program in Alabama, which starts in January. So they've had January and February. You're working out with the team. And then you have March, you have spring practice. Then you have spring practice in April. And then May and June, you're kind of off on your own. July, things start heating up, kind of players kind of working together in different units. So by the time they get to August, when training camp happens, are these guys even really freshmen anymore? Because they've already been acclimated to the system since January and February, right? So it's amazing to me, like a guy like Miles McVay, he's just not showing up as a eyes wide open freshman. No, he already knows where he sits on the depth chart. This depth chart, we're not supposed to talk about the depth chart, right? But he knows where he's at,
right? And
that's just what I'm saying is like these guys get here so early. What is your take on kind of just this defense at a glance?
Man, I tell you what, man, I'm impressed with Caleb Downs, man. I think he's gonna be a dog. I really do. Now the inside linebacker, you got to tell me who you think should be out there, and I'll hang up and listen to you, man. I really enjoy your show, man. I really do, man. So this is my first time calling, but you will be hearing from 314.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling in, Jimmy. And you know what? I'm being generous, man. You got a seat at the table as well, man. So call in again next time. We'll talk some Alabama football. You can tell me about, you know, if there's any other prospects kind of in that East St. Louis that we should keep our eyes on. Cool.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure, man. And you know what? When I come to a game down there, I'm gonna look you up.
Do it, man. Do it. And like I said, man,
Okay.
you want to play pool, you want to play cornhole, you want to go shoot, whatever, man. We'll chop it up. Serious, man. Anytime.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, man. Take it easy, Jimmy. You know what'd be tight is if we set up like some sort of tailgate and we had like all the callers and we could just tailgate the Bama football, you know, tailgate or something like that. How tight would that be, right? Let me know if you're in for that. You know, we could set up the call in line. You guys we could set up a booth and then you guys could come on and we just talk. I think that idea would be fire. All right. Sean already talked about the inside linebackers, and this is what Sean is saying, Trez Marshall and Deontay Lawson. I think Deontay Lawson is clearly a guy we're talking, and we'll take our next caller in just a second. You got a 479 calling in. I think when we look to Deontay Lawson, I'll bring him up right here. So you can go to Alabama's website and look for any of your players. Let's see if we can find. I don't know why he's not coming up. Whoa. Now we're like clicking around. But Deontay Lawson, I think when you look to Alabama's defense, I mean, he already got his feet wet in the Sugar Bowl, right? I was impressed with, I'm serious. Listen up. I was impressed with Deontay Lawson, and I was impressed with Jamarion Miller in the Sugar Bowl, because there was this run, if you guys remember, Jam Miller got up to the side and I was like, oh damn, like that's the first time I really seen him, and he was running angry. He was probably, you know, like excited to get on the field. It's a Sugar Bowl. Kansas State defense is very good. I was really impressed with him, and then Deontay Lawson as well. So those are the two guys that I like caught my eye. And I think when you look to the inside linebacker position, I think like with Sean, he's saying Trez Marshall. I don't know. That might be the guy along with Deontay Lawson. I need to see like what's going to happen in some of these early spring games, or I'm sorry, these early summer scrimmages before I really make an assessment about that. I think that's an area that we need to circle to kind of find out more. Andy Simpson saying, let's do the tailgate, right? Doesn't this tailgate sound tight? And we could have it like set up. We could have it sponsored and stuff like that. And then you guys sit at the table. We'll make the table, right? And then you kind of come up, you sit at the table, we talk Alabama football. That's not a bad idea. Jaheed Campbell. Oh yeah. That's a really good addition right here. We'll take our next caller, and it is a 479. We'll take it right now. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who I'm on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, what's up, man? This is big, man. The 479 is badly from a team we play every year. It was Arkansas. I grew up a Bama fan. My daddy, that's where he was born and raised, was outside of Mobile. But I just wanted to talk to you about something that made me like bite my tongue, man, because every single morning I turn on the radio, and obviously it's going to be Arkansas biased. Like it's an ESPN radio, but it's in Arkansas. It's an Arkansas radio, so all they talk about is Arkansas football. And there's a guy on that radio, man. His name is Ty, and he has been talking so much smack about Alabama football for like the past, like ever since the season ended, basically, man. And he is out here telling all these Arkansas people that Bama's finna lose 4 games this year, one of them being Arkansas. And I just really want to like get your thoughts, like if you was on his show, like what would you tell him to like make him change his mind? Like Bama ain't gonna be like no scrubs this year.
Well, first of all, I missed your name at the beginning. What was your name?
It's B-Man. It's Bradley.
Okay. All right. B-Man. Well, I think the first thing that I would say if I was on the show with Ty is I would really point out the fact that Arkansas has really done a great job under Sam Pittman, because when I first got here, Arkansas was like they were just terrible. And it was like I wasn't even looking forward to the game because I just knew that Alabama was just going to run through Arkansas. I mean, it was just, I mean, some of the games that they had was just, it was ridiculous. It was right. It was like 65. And then the second thing I would say is I would probably point to this graphic right here and said that the last time that Alabama lost to Arkansas is back in 2006.
Yeah,
Like-
man, I'm not even lying to you, man. They bring that up every single on my way to work. Every single morning, they bring that up. And it's like, this is the year, Chuck. This is like they always talk about this year. I'm just like, man, like I know Alabama has lost some like elite and key players, but like it's Alabama, man. Like I want to call their show and like say so many things, but like I just bite my tongue and just listen. I'm just like, y'all just wait. But like I'm gonna call their show eventually. And just get it with some facts, like, you know what I mean?
Well, and I think, you know, look, now the past doesn't necessarily dictate the future, right? And like I said earlier, like Arkansas, they're a good team, 100%. And I think, you know, they're going to rally behind their quarterback, who is a problem. Just like Alabama's quarterback is going to be a problem. And I think, you know, Sam Pittman's defense, along with who's our boy Drew Sanders, right? Drew Sanders is a force. That guy is amazing.
The one who injured Bryce, man.
Man, he is so talented. He's such a talent. So you have him on defense, and then you have KJ Jefferson coming back. Those guys, I mean, formidable opponents for sure. But in terms of losing 4 games, I mean, here's the schedule right now. We can look at it. Kill Tack, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. When does Saban start doing press conferences again? He'll do his first press conference next Wednesday, and then things will pick up during the season in August. So next Wednesday, we'll have Coach Saban, Kool-Aid, J.C. Latham, and Dallas Turner, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled season. So thanks, Kill Tack. I appreciate it. But when we look to this season right here, actually, let's just okay, so you got Middle Tennessee, Rat Poison game. Then you have Texas. That's going to be a very challenging game for Alabama, 100%. I mean, Texas.
That is one of the L's that he has on his list. That he says we are losing to Texas for sure. That's one of them out of the 4. That's one of them.
He might be right. That's going to be a very difficult game for Alabama. I think that Texas's offense is going to present challenges not only for Alabama but for everybody. I mean, they should. I mean, like with Steve Sarkisian's system, if they got a healthy quarterback and all of those weapons, Texas, I mean, they got what it takes for sure, 100%. The only thing is Alabama's at home. That game is going to be under the lights. It's going to be an incredible game. Okay, so let's just theoretically say that's a L, right? Just saying.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me add another chat. Okay, and then we got we're going to Tampa. We're going to hang out in Tampa. That's going to be fun. Alabama's going to do their thing. You got Ole Miss. That's Lane Kiffin. Look, Lane Kiffin, he's a great coach. And he's got Pete Goldie now, another really good defensive mind. But the problem with Lane Kiffin is, and maybe this has changed, but he doesn't play Alabama well. I think he lets his emotions get the best of him because he probably wants to beat Nick Saban more than anybody, right? Like, let's just call it what it is. All Lane Kiffin does is talk about Coach Saban. Every single day he wakes up and he tweets about Saban. And that's the only really way that he stays relevant, honestly, right? Because he knows that Nick Saban is the SEO king. So like, he's like, how can I get my word out there? Oh, Coach Saban, the GOAT. He's always kissing his ass and stuff like that. Honestly, it's annoying. It's annoying as shit. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to call it like it is. Like, I'm tired of it. It's like, that's all he does. His brand is saying that like he's connected to Nick. Dude, we get it. We honestly get it. You are like Coach Saban loves you and blah, blah, blah. But like, it's annoying, right? Am I wrong about that? Is it not
but Ole Miss still got that stud, man. They got, what's that boy's name? That running back?
No, they're good.
Justin, right? They still got him, right? Yeah, they got that stud. But I feel like that's the only like true weapon we got to worry about when we play them is we got to control him. Like I feel like they obviously gonna have weapons. Like after wide receiver core, they're gonna have weapons. They're gonna have some good D linemen. But I feel like that's like our main focus when we go into that week playing them is gonna be him. Like I feel like that's just me.
But remember when the last time that he played Saban, like he went for it like on these 4th downs and like he shouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? Like take the field goal and like play smart football. You know, and I get it. A field goal is not going to be Alabama, but still. Okay, so Alabama's not losing to Ole Miss. Mississippi State, no. At Texas A&M, no. I don't. I mean that.
Hey, look, the A&M one. That's an L that he had too. He had him. That's another L he had. And the crazy thing was, he had us beating Tennessee, but he had us losing to. He had us losing to the Hogs at home and LSU, man. That's how I'm.
I mean, look, no doubt about it. This is a very difficult stretch. Probably this is the gauntlet right here. It starts October 7th, as you can see. You got Texas A&M.
Yeah.
At Kyle Field. I mean, they beat Alabama the last time that they played there. You also have Arkansas. Arkansas, I'm telling you, Arkansas is a very capable team. I don't think they beat Alabama at Bryant-Denny, but then you have Tennessee. Who's saying in the comment?
Team.
Eli D is saying all the key games are at home. He's right, because look at that gauntlet. Arkansas, thank goodness you have this open week before LSU, because LSU, that's another redemption game that Alabama has to play at. But then again, that's at Bryant-Denny Stadium. You have Kentucky, okay. Light work that goes under rat poison. Chattanooga, okay, rat poison. And then you take on Hugh Freeze. And look, the one thing that I've learned from covering Alabama, you have no idea what's going to happen in that damn game against Auburn. You have no idea. Like, it could be Alabama could be rolling, everyone could be healthy, Auburn could be down and out and be terrible, and then that game is like by a field goal. I mean, just watching the Iron Bowl,
it's like Auburn's just like, hold on, we playing Alabama. Never mind, let's play football for like 2 quarters.
And then you have Hugh Freeze. It's like, a lot's gonna go into that game. So I don't know. I mean, who knows? But I don't see 4 losses on that. I mean, look, I could see 2, maybe 3. And
I can see us going undefeated as well. Like at the same time, it's like,
look, if they survive this, this is it right here. If they can stay healthy from October 7th, this is it. If they could drop a game here, okay? Let's say they beat Texas and they drop one of these games, but if they stay healthy from October 7th to November 4th, they're winning the national championship, or at least they're making a really strong run.
Yeah, that makes you smile right now. Just think about that, man. Just like, damn, man. I'm just like. It gives me goosebumps just think about it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be tough, and but 4 losses, I think that's a little far fetched. I mean, I don't even know when the last time Alabama, lost 4 games. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll happen. I don't know. We'll file that under the Rat Poison podcast. But hey, man, B-Man, I'm gonna let you run. You call again next time, man. We got you plugged in, and thanks for talking the schedule with me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. You have a good night.
All right, you too, man. All right. You guys have a good time tonight? You guys enjoy yourselves? I did. Thank you so much for watching the show. We went an hour and a half. So good kickoff to July. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Thank you so much for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Let's get to 88,000 subscribers right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Call in any single time. Thank you very much for our callers. We got Tom from Wisconsin, Jay from Florence, Alex from Savannah, Tennessee, Larry from Huntsville, Hunter from Alabama, Jimmy from St. Louis, and we got B-Man calling in from, I think it was Arkansas. So he's got the 479. I appreciate you guys so much. My name is Kyle Henderson, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Look, I've been in the gym, man. I've been in the lab. I'm feeling good. Until next time, my fans. Until next time, my friends and fans, coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Kyle Henderson and the Bama Football YouTube channel. I will talk to you next time. Good night, everybody.